Welcome to Caraway Speedway. We are set for Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic qualifying. 24 cars on hand here today. A couple of newcomers as well, some part-time competitors, and we're looking forward to tonight's great race honoring Southern Modified great Robert Jeffries. His son, Lee Jeffries, is with us, and we are about to begin 2 laps of qualifying here for the Mighty Modifieds at Caraway Speedway. This lightning quick track, just under a half mile in length. This will be the 79th time the Smart Modified Tour competes here at Caraway Speedway in Sophia, North Carolina. Up first, the number 64 out of Midway, North Carolina. He is the son of stadium stock and modified competitor at Bowman Gray Stadium, Stephen Truhl. This is Ethan Truhl in that number 64 car. We'll see what he does during qualifying here. First car on the racetrack, struggled a little bit in practice earlier today. First time, 17.466 for Ethan Truhl. Second generation race car driver go here in the Robert Jeffries Memorial. Coming around to take the checkered flag, Jeff Button in the starter's position here today. Second lap a little bit better, 17.175 for Ethan Truhl. Now on the racetrack, the number 44 out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. This is a Troyer machine, a winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. 2 smart starts in his career for the 44 of Spencer Martin. Spencer comes around to take the white flag. 1 lap complete for Spencer Martin. Time of 17.257. 17.257 for Spencer Martin. Second lap for Spencer Martin. Crosses the stripe. First driver in the 16-second bracket, 16.921. Top time so far for Spencer Martin. Now on the racetrack, one of the full-time competitors with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Reedy Creek, North Carolina drilling on the side of that car. It's a Fury machine for Tutterow Racing. It's the 21 of Jimmy Wallace. Jimmy Wallace, 17.008 for Jimmy Wallace. Second quick out of 3 cars on his first lap. 8.12, 16, 8.12 for Jimmy Wallace out of Reedy Creek, North Carolina. Now on the racetrack, qualifying early here today at Caraway Speedway in the number 4 with Carolina Drilling and QRC HVAC and Refrigeration on the side of that race car. Also Greg Butcher Trucking for the PSR of the working man, Jason Myers. Jason Myers, first lap on the track, 16.988. 16.988. Good enough for third quick so far for Jason Myers on his first lap. He gets down to the mat, coming off the corner, checkered flag in the air. Jason Myers, fast time, 16.756 for Jason Myers, the working man. Now on the racetrack, third generation race car driver in the number 12 out of Louisville, North Carolina, in the Jerry Hunt Supercenters Severt Norman Motorsports. It's Cody Norman in the 12. Norman, a 7th place run in the Revolutionary 99. His best effort in Smart Modified Tour competition. The Crate Modified standout turns the time of 17.003, 17.003 on his first lap. On the mat he goes again, coming off of turn number 4, checkered flag. Cody Norman goes up to second quick, 16.810, 16.810 for Cody Norman, dropping Jimmy Wallace to third. This guy has had all sorts of bad luck this season with the Smart Modified Tour. He hails from Lexington, North Carolina, in the Yates Grading and Paving PSR machine with that Yates spec engine underneath the hood for the 18 of Daniel Yates. Yates' first lap, 17.147. 5th quick so far out of 6 cars. He's got one more circuit to go. He's got to pick it up a little bit to have a good qualifying effort here today. Daniel Yates coming to the checkered here at Caraway Speedway. A little bit better on his second lap, but he's not going to be satisfied with that. 16:9.52 for Daniel Yates. He'll remain fifth quick. Now on the racetrack, 1 week ago, this guy had a great run at New River All-American Speedway towards the coast of North Carolina. To here, he's at Archdale, North Carolina, in the Louder Construction Carolina Steel Incorporated PSR machine for Josh Louder. Josh Louder, first lap in the 16-second bracket. An 8.22 first lap for Josh Louder. The Crate Modified Kingpin, trying his hand at Tour-type modified racing. Second lap on the racetrack, not as quick as the first lap for Josh Louder. So lap number 1 will be his best, 16.822, good enough for fourth quick. Here's a driver who is top 10 in points with the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. He's out of North Carolina in the Mark III Financial Units Moving and Storage Buzzy Racing Troyer machine for Mike Smith. It's Tommy Buzzy Jr. Tommy with some success here at Caraway Speedway. He turns a time of 16.764, 16.764. Second quick for Tommy Buzzy. Can he unseat Jason Myers on the top of the speed charts? Checkered flag, and he does. 16.43, Tommy Buzzy to number 1 here during Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying. Here's a guy who had a great outing last weekend near the beach. Scored his best Smart Modified Tour finish with a second place run at Carteret County Speedway. Driver the number 16 out of Oxford, North Carolina, in the Pace-O-Matic PSR for S&S Racing. It's J-Cash, Jonathan Cash. Third quick, lap 16.784. You can hear him nice and easy on the throttle so he doesn't spin those tires coming off the corner. Coming around to complete his 2 laps of qualifying, this time for Jonathan Cash. Cash a little bit better on his second lap, 16.768, but he will remain third quick of the cars that have qualified. Our next driver on the racetrack, his first start of the season with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. He hails from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the Black Sand Company Vector Security Quality Automotive Surface machine for John Holloman IV. John and his wife expecting their second child. Remember him back in the Legend Car days. Coming back here to Caraway, also plans to run at North Wilkesboro Speedway to close for the Smart Modified Tour. Holloman first lap, 17.138, 17.138 for Superman John Holloman. Gets to the gas, really gingerly coming off of turn number 4. Holloman 7th quick, 16.829, 16.829 for John Holloman, 2 wins this year at Bowman Gray Stadium. Now on the racetrack, the legacy of the Myers family continues. Here is the number 6 machine out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and the Hustler Mobile Home Sales, Ben Gable Enterprises, Bryce. Slate, the son of Burt Myers, all smiles there during practice and getting ready to fly. Slate Myers, 16.9. Number 4, but it'll be a little bit better. In fact, a lot better for Slate Myers. 16.803, good enough for 4th quick so far in qualifying for Slate Myers. Now on the racetrack, last time we were here, a top 5 run for this driver out of High Point, North Carolina, in a Better View Glass and Mirror Alliance Host and Tube Works Basic Racing Enterprises PSR machine for Michael Rich in the 11. Michael Rich, first lap, 16.889, and 8.89 for Michael Rich. hoping to run with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic the rest of the season. Just a handful of races to go. There's the checkered flag waving for Michael Rich. Wow, great time for Michael Rich. Second quick, 16.746 for the driver of the number 11. Next up is one of our Racing Electronics Rookie of the Year contenders in the famous Hillbilly Motorsports ride. We're talking about the Connecticut Kid from Newtown, Connecticut, the Sundrop EME into Town Troyer machine. It's Anthony Bello in the 79. Bello coming around for the white flag. 1 lap complete in qualifying. And Anthony Bello, first lap fast time so far in qualifying. 16.595 for the Connecticut Kid. Not too shabby. Can he improve here on lap number 2? And he by just a little bit. 16.472 now the time to beat, and it's owned by Anthony Bello. Here's a driver that it's great to see back at the track, making his second start with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic this season out of Mount Airy, North Carolina, in the William E. Smith Trucking Simon's Power Sports machine for Frank Fleming. Fleming, more than 100 career starts here at Caraway Speedway in his career. One of the most decorated Southern modified racers of all time. Coming around to take the checkered flag is Frank Fleming, 7th quick, 16.810 for the 40 of Frank Fleming. Now on the racetrack, that 99 made famous for so many years by Jamie Tomeno. Jamie Tomeno and his wife Cheryl own the machine for fellow Howell, New Jersey driver Jimmy Blewett. Showtime in the Troyer machine here, top 10 in points for Jimmy Blewett. Blewett has knocked on the door for Pace-O-Matic victory lane this season. A couple of runner-up finishes, but he's yet to grab the checkered flag. Jimmy Blewett, first lap, not what he wants. 16.878 for Showtime, 12th quick. Going to try to pick it up here, but that car does not want to turn, coming up off the corner. Second lap of qualifying. Jimmy Blewett, best lap will be on his first lap. That car looked like it stopped down there in 3 and 4 in his second lap. 16.878, 12th quick for Jimmy Blewett. Now on the racetrack, the youth is alive here on the Smart Modified Tour, and this driver is certainly part of that young brigade. He's the driver of the number 7 VA out of Mooresville, North Carolina, in the Pace-O-Matic Stanley Law Group, Mohawk Northeast S&S Racing PSR for Luke Baldwin. Baldwin, the king of the modifieds at South Boston Speedway, and he's second quick on his first lap. 16.563 for the 18-year-old Luke Baldwin. The third generation modified racer coming to the checker. Can he grab the top spot? And he does. Luke Baldwin to the top of the board. 16.463 over Anthony Bello's 16.472. Here's a driver that is on a roll here in the last handful of races with the Smart Modified Tour. We'll talk about that a lot tonight. He's in the number 24. He's out of Freehold, New Jersey in the Amerifast Supply Buddy Ellis Troyer machine for Danny Bone. Danny Bone, third quick first lap. 16.689 for the winner at Carteret County Speedway in the Carteret Clash last Saturday near the coast of North Carolina. Can he get his second Pace-O-Matic Pole Award of the season? Danny Bone a little bit better on his second lap, but he'll remain third quick. 16.669 for Danny Bone. Here's the kid that leads the point standings, and I mean kid, 16 years old. He is out of Lexington, North Carolina, in the L&R Transmissions, LeBlue, Bottled Water, QMF, Metal Fabrication, PSR for the kid, Carson Lofton. Lofton, 5 wins this season, one of them coming here at Caraway earlier this year. 4th quick first lap, 16.720 for Carson Lofton. Gonna have to pick it up by about 0.3 of a second to try to get the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award here today. A little bit, 16.6. 3rd quick for Carson Lofton. 6 cars remain in qualifying here today. This next, very happy all of us are to see the driver of the number 75 out of Wahlberg, North Carolina, and the Dan Sandwiches Security Partners, Phoenix Packaging, Brad's Golf Cars, Wahlberg Grill and Pizza Machine for Lee Jeffries. Lee Jeffries, 3 wins this year at the stadium in NASCAR modified competition. Here racing in the event named after his father, Robert Jeffries. Coming around to take the checkered flag, he was top 6 in practice earlier today. The number 75 machine, Lee Jeffries, 17.025. First lap for Lee Jeffries. Jeffries, a little transmission issue earlier today during practice. Checkered flag in the air for Lee Jeffries, 16.881. 16th quick for the veteran racer. Here is the number 15 machine. You talk about decorated drivers here at Caraway Speedway. This is certainly one of them. Brian Lofton, 18 tour-type modified wins here at Caraway Speedway. He drives for Shady Grady Racing with L&R Transmissions, Steve Tires and Automotive, and unique coatings on the side of this 15 for Brian Lofton. Brian Lofton, 5th quick first lap, 16.734 for the red and white 15. A little bit slow coming off the corner, but will it be good enough? Brian Lofton, 4th quick, 16.642, just a little bit better, knocking Danny Bone back to 5th. Safety truck now going on the racetrack. Maybe a report of fluid or possibly debris on the racetrack. Just want to make sure. We are told that possibly fluid coming out from the 75 of Lee Jeffries. So the safety team here for Caraway Speedway circling the racetrack to make sure that this place is okay for the remainder of the qualifiers. So 4 cars left in qualifying and some big, heavy hitters here. Ryan Newman, Brandon Ward, Joey Coulter, and Burt Myers. Gotta love these chairs in the tower of Caraway Speedway. You never know when they're just gonna lower right in the middle of you talking. Oh, always gives us a giggle. We hope you're enjoying wherever you're watching from. Make sure you get on social media, tweet, get on, I don't care if it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. Make sure you tag the Smart Modified Tour, SmartMods_. I'm Bob Dillner, the voice of the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. Excited to be with you. Plenty of racing on Flow Racing here tonight, and we'll keep track of some of that for you. And, of course, we're proud to be a partner of the Smart Modified Tour with Flow Racing, the official streaming provider for the series. CitraSafe Grill Cleaner, a big sponsor. But still, with this day that we're having here today, and hopefully for you it'll be a nice Sunday as well, you might want to get that grill out, maybe do a little cooking. You're going to want to go over to Walmart, you name it, get yourself some CitraSafe Grill Cleaner, a non-toxic Modified Tour. Use definitely cleans up that grill in a hurry. They got great scouring pads as well. I told you about, and they do a great job as well. So thank you to CitraSafe. A little bit later on, you'll see the CitraSafe Choose Cone out during the race here tonight for 99 laps. And in fact, it had to go to the fab shop after Caraway last time during the Revolutionary 99 because these big old chrome horns on the front cars, the bumpers, one of the cars actually collected the CitraSafe Grill Cleaner. I think it needed a front and rear clip, but it is back and ready for tonight's racing action. Let's take a look at the point standings as we await the next qualifier. We mentioned Carson Lofton first up. Second, Danny Bone, Luke Baldwin in third. And the next driver on the racetrack is the driver of the number 2 machine out of South Bend, Indiana. In the Shitty Coolers, Finzer Rollers, Capital Automotive Group, Aggressive Hydraulics, Montrose Molders Corporation, the Coulter Motorsport car machine for the Rocket Man, Ryan Newman. Newman with 2 wins this year with the Smart Modified Tour. His most recent Saturday morning, yes, last Saturday morning. And we'll explain that a little later on. If you want a New River All-American Speedway, always fast, is Ryan Newman. Newman, first lap, 16.741. 16.741 for Ryan Newman. Newman, second lap, 16.627. Good enough for fourth quick for Ryan Newman. And remember, qualifying very important. If you qualify in the top 8, you have the eligibility to be in a redraw. Whoever sets fast time picks a pill out of the hat, and 4, 6, or 8 in that hat. By virtue of the pill that driver will pick, that many drivers will redraw out of the qualifying order from the results in Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying. Next up on the racetrack, this driver, a winner here at Caraway Speedway in the past, driver of the 04 machine with Q104.1, KevinYesYes.com, iHeartRadio for Kevin Powell Racing by New Day. It's Brandon Ward out of Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Brandon Ward, first lap, 7th quick, 16.713 for Brandon Ward, who has raced all sorts of race cars here at Caraway Speedway, stock cars and modifieds alike. A little bit better for Brandon Ward, but he does not get to the top of the board. Third quick for Brandon Ward, 16.529. Second quick in practice earlier today. The next driver on the racetrack out of Miami Springs, Florida, in the Torch Eyewear Molecule Air Shock Performance Bilstein Shocks Fury Machine for the number 2 of Joey Coulter. The Gray Ghost 02, first lap complete. Coulter, 10th quick, 16.748. Gonna have to pick it up a little bit to get at least into the top 8 and have the possibility of the redraw for starting spots for tonight's Robert Jeffries Memorial. And he does. Joey Coulter goes to 4th quick, 16.588 for Joey Coulter. Fastest in practice earlier today. The driver of the number 1 machine. He is out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, with CitraSafe Grill Cleaners, Peanut Patch, and Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas on the side of that PSR machine for the ace, Burt Myers. Myers, 14 total tour-type modified victories here at this racetrack. Myers, 9th quick, first lap, 16.717 for the ace, Burt Myers. Gets back to the throttle. Had some driveline troubles that he thought he got figured out here for qualifying. Apparently he did. Burt Myers, second lap on the racetrack. Actually, his best lap will be his first lap. 16.717. His second lap, a 16.731. Does not knock himself into the top 8 here in qualifying. So the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award will go to Luke Baldwin, the 18-year-old out of Morrisville, North Carolina. His family hailing from Long Island, New York for so many years. A time of 16.463 for Luke Baldwin with the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award. Anthony Bellows, second quick, 16.472. Third quick, Brandon Ward, 16.529. Joey Coulter, one of the last cars to qualify, fourth quick overall, 16.588. Carson Lofton, fifth quick, 16.621. Ryan Newman in sixth, 16.627. A 16.642 for Brian Lofton. And the last driver in the top 8, 16.669 for Danny Bone. So that completes Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic qualifying here. 99 laps will be the distance tonight. The Mighty Modifieds will be up fourth in the lineup. We still have plenty of racing to go here. Some more qualifying as well as a bunch of features. The Modifieds for the Smart Modified Tour will be up fourth in terms of the main events here this evening. We'll take a quick break on Flow Racing and come back with some more action at Caraway Speedway.
Modifieds. Well, race fans, welcome to Caraway Speedway. Once again, 9/11 Remembrance Night and the Robert Jeffries Memorial here on Saturday, September the 7th, 2024. Coming up next is going to be the qualifying. There'll be 2 laps of qualifying for the 602 Modifieds, followed by 2 laps of qualifying for the Challengers. Cars already lined up, ready to make their way out on to the .455 mile Caraway Speedway. Wesley Allen here in the tower with me. Bob Dillner doing the flow announcing for the Smart Tour tonight. We've got a lot of race cars and a lot of racing, and it's great to see all of you race fans coming in here at the showplace of the Carolinas. We'd like to welcome you on behalf of the staff and the management. We've got some very special activities that'll be getting underway when our pole awards are presented, and we'll go racing promptly at 7 o'clock tonight. Well, once again, I'd like to welcome you. Sammy's Auto Sales, one of the main sponsors of Caraway, along with Sir Pizza, the U.S. Legends Cars, Radical Fire Protection. They've come on board as a Caraway sponsor. The Visit to Heart of Carolina out of Randolph County, Velosta USA, L&R Transmissions, Daggett & Schuler, M&J Printing, Racing America, Thomas Brothers Country Ham, Down Home Recycling, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, the Ready Mart, McIntyre Guttering, just many of the numerous sponsors that we have for the 2024 season. Well, we got a lot of racing coming up tonight. I'd like to remind everyone also, coming up on Saturday, September the 14th, it'll be the Fall Shadow Ladies Night here at Caraway. Challengers will compete along with Mod 4s, U-Cars, 602 Modifieds, Bootleggers, Street Stocks, Euro, any car. That's coming up on Saturday night, September the 14th. On September the 21st, it'll be the Zoo City Auto Sales races. Challengers, Mod 4s, U-Cars, Powder Puffs, Mini Stocks, Legends, and Bandoleros will compete. Right now, we've got a car taking the Speedway. Coming up first in the Challenger division is...
On the clock right now, 602 Modifieds getting ready to qualify, actually. The 602 Mods. This is Joe Bellinger on the racetrack in that number 13 machine. Joe Bellinger, first lap is going to be in 18.431. 18.431, Allen, down the back straightaway.
Let's see if he can speed that up a little bit. 18.431 as Bellinger goes down the low side of the racetrack. He'll bring that automobile off of turn 4. Josh Lyle's on the tower. He gives him the checker flag, and our second lap is...
And let's see what he can do. Second lap will be faster, 18.125. 18.125 seconds for Joel Bellinger in the number 13 machine. Up next to qualify, this is Neil Rutt in the number 72. Beautiful looking race car. Makes his way to the back straightaway. The 72, Neil Rutt on the clock, Allen.
Neil Rutt goes down the low side of the racetrack. Moves turn 3, off turn 4. He'll bring it back. White flag out for him. First lap for Neil Rutt.
And it's going to be an 18.262. 18.262 right now. As right now, Joe Bellinger's still the fast man. Let's see what Neil Rutt can do on his second lap. Here he comes to the line. Quicker lap 2. No, 18.471. So an 18.262 will be his best lap of speed. Here comes the Sun Drop Jerry Hunt Super Center, number 5. This, of course, is one of the Ward Performance drivers from Winston-Salem. This is Dylan Ward.
Ward moves to the turn 3 area. Sharp-looking paint scheme on that automobile. Jerry Hunt Auto Sales, known throughout the Carolinas, one of the biggest truck dealers in the country. And Dylan Ward's first lap is...
And he's going to go to the top of the board. Allen does 17.871. 17.871 for the driver of Dylan Ward of the Sun Drop number 5. The orange, the chroma color orange and black. Number 5 flashes under the flag stand. Lap number 2, it is quicker. Allen 17.683. 17.683 for Dylan Ward.
Coming up next, Andy Avery on the Speedway in car number 40 as he makes his way down into turn 1. Goes up a little high, gets a little bit side, slides the car around. He's got quite an effort to put forth to come on around the racetrack. Let's see what's going to happen with him. He's under the checkered flag, under the green flag. White flag flying first of 2 laps for him.
Yeah, this first lap is definitely going to hurt. It stings. 21.711 for the number 40 of Andy Avery. Saves that car on the back straightaway. Beautiful piece of driving to keep that car off the outside or inside retaining wall. As here comes Avery at Caraway Speedway 9/11 Remembrance Night to the line here at the Robert Jeffries Memorial. And Avery is going to be at 19.056. And that'll be right now 4th fastest, Allen.
Dylan Ward is currently a quick qualifier with a 17.683. Our next driver out on the Speedway in the number 9 car is Gabe Saverta.
Gabe Saverta. We'll see what he can do here. Gabe Saverta in the number 9. Saverta comes to the line. Let's see, white flag, first lap. The number 9 machine will go to 4th, 18.558. He's got to find some speed, way off the pace there. Let's see what he can do in his second lap. Final lid lifter for the Tour Mods before the 23rd annual John Blewett Memorial North-South Shootout in November here at Caraway, and the return of the Super Modifieds with ISMA and the Midwest Super Mods. And let's see where now he'll end up 3rd, 18.221.
Our next driver to make an attempt to qualify at Caraway Speedway in the car number 25 is Mitchell Wright. He's been a constant competitor throughout the 2024 season. Here at Caraway, moves down to the low side of the racetrack as he exits off turn 4, white flag flying. His first lap for Mitchell Wright is...
And ready to redeem himself, obviously, after some bad luck at the last race as well. Good enough for the outside front row. 17.966 on lap number 1 for the 25 of Mitchell Wright. 17.966. Will he improve? great night of racing, including the Robert Jeffries Memorial, the 9/11 Remembrance Night for our first responders. Obviously, a lot of cool things planned here. Opening ceremonies are going to be really, really cool. We have a lot of things planned for a lot of dignitaries from county and local officials, commissioners, managers that are planning to be here in attendance. We have some special honor guard and people in attendance as well. This will be a special night, no doubt. And, of course, the final opportunity for those tour-type mods to get prepared for the North-South Shootout that is quickly approaching in over 2 months from now, November.
that you want to be? Well, tonight we want to be right here with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic at this lightning fast, just less than a half-mile in length oval. 23 cars will roar to life here for 99 laps in the Robert Jeffries Memorial. The Jeffries family has meant so much to us here in Southern Modified Racing. Robert Jeffries, more than 700 starts at Bowman Gray Stadium, more than 30 wins, 2 championships. But for us in the series, he was the inaugural winner in 1989 for this series. Today, his son Lee was supposed to be in the starting lineup. Unfortunately, a blown engine in qualifying. But Lee, we love your family and love what all of you have done for the Smart Modified Tour and Southern Modified Racing. And it's time to meet the starting lineup for the Robert Jeffries Memorial here for 99 laps of the Smart Modified Tour. On the front row for this one, starting on the pole, out of Lexington, North Carolina, an 18-time winner of Tour-Type Modified competition here at Caraway Speedway. Driver of the red and white, number 15, it's Brian Lofton. And to his outside, in one of the most famous rides in all of Southern Modified Racing, Hillbilly Motorsports in that number 79. It's a 2-time SK Modified winner from Stafford Springs, Connecticut. It's Anthony Bello. Starting third here tonight. He won the most recent race, Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic at Carteret County Speedway on the coast of North Carolina. That was last Saturday. The number 24 Amerifast machine, Bone. To the outside, row number 2, starting fourth tonight. Last year's Warrior 100 winner here at Caraway Speedway. In the 04 machine, it's Brandon Ward. Starting fifth, with Finzer Rollers accompanying this car here today, with more than 60 employees on hand here at Caraway Speedway. The South Bend, Indiana driver Ryan Newman in the number 2. Starting sixth, another former NASCAR winner. His wife Jessica won a Crown Vic race in Florida just last week. It's the 02 machine of Joey Coulter. Starting seventh, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner here today at Caraway Speedway. In the 7VA, it's Luke Baldwin. And starting eighth, he's been the dominator this year, a 5-time winner and the current point leader of the Smart Modified Tour, powered by Pace-O-Matic. It's the 16-year-old kid, Carson Lofton. Rounding out the top 10 starters here today on the inside of row number 5, from Walnut Cove, North Carolina, a 14-time Tour-Type Modified winner at Caraway Speedway, it's Burt Myers. And to his outside in points for North Carolina driver Tommy Uzzy Jr. in the Mark III Financial 25. Starting 11th in the number 11. He was 5th in July here at Caraway Speedway with the Smart Modified Tour. It's Michael Rich. And to his outside, starting 12th, the number 4 for the working man, Jason Myers. Starting lucky number 3, Jay Cash, Jonathan Cash, second at Carteret last Saturday, hoping for a victory here tonight. Starting 14th, the 4th generation of the Myers Racing family. It'll be Slate Myers making his first career modified start in the number 6. Starting 15th, 8-time winner here at Smart Competition at Carolina in the number 40 machine, Fleming. Outside, a 3rd generation race car driver, 7th in the July race here at Caraway, the number 12 of Cody Norman. Starting 17th, 5th in 2021 here at Caraway. That's his best finish. The number 21 for Jimmy Wallace. Starting 18th in that red number 63, a 3-time winner in crate modified competition here in series competition, it's Josh Lauder. Starting 19th, a 6-time NASCAR modified winner at Bowman Gray Stadium, it's John Holland, 69. To his outside, Jimmy Blewett. Then it's Spencer Martin, Daniel Yates, and Ethan Truel. Folks, it's time to stand and salute these drivers today. We thank you to the Jeffries family here today. Robert Jeffries, that's what this race is all about here today, but his son Lee has meant so much as well. So tonight we're going to salute you. Get out of your seat. Get pumped up. This is our salute to open wheels, to chrome horns, and 600 horsepower. The ground pounders, the mod squad. This is the Smart Modified Tour. "99 laps will be the battle here tonight for the Robert Jeffries Memorial at Caraway Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. We're going to take a quick look at the point standings before we go green here tonight. Carson Lofton leads the point brigade by 39 markers over the 24 of Danny Bone. Luke Baldwin still within striking distance here at this stage of the game in the season. Baldwin 42 points back. Ryan Newman right there as well, 49. That's basically one full race. And it's Burt Myers, Joey Coulter, Tommy Buzzy, Jonathan Cash, Jimmy Blewett, and Anthony Bello, the rookie, rounding out the top 10. Lights are off on top of the pace car. It's time to go green with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Varied experience on the front row. Brian Lofton, the veteran, the new kid. Anthony Bello alongside. 99 laps for the Robert Jeffries Memorial tonight at Caraway Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour. And by the grace of God and 600 horsepower, we are racing with the Mighty Modifieds at Caraway. Brian Lofton, that savviness behind the wheel of the number 15, grabs that top spot. Anthony Bello in second, side by side for the third spot. That's Danny Bone in the number 24 on the inside. He's able to grab third position, dropping Brandon Ward in the Q104.104 back to fourth. Fifth place is the battle right now. Fifth, side by side, Ryan Newman on the inside. Former Daytona 500 winner in that orange and white number 2 machine. He gets to fifth. Now the battle is for sixth. Luke Baldwin now to the inside of Joey Coulter. Coulter going to give up that position. Luke Baldwin in the 7VA, the winner at South Boston Speedway to become the king of the modifieds here in the South. He is now trying to move up through the field. It's Coulter, and behind Coulter, that red number 23 car, the 16-year-old kid, Carson Lofton. 5 wins this year, one of them coming right here at Caraway Speedway. But it's been 3 races since Carson Lofton has gone to Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane. Can he change that fortune and continue his point lead here today? Early in this one, just 4 laps complete, plenty of racing to go. We'll go back to the top, and that's where we see Brian Lofton leading Anthony Bello in second and Danny Bone in third. Want to talk a little bit about that number 24 car because he has been red hot over the course of the last handful of races. Third, second, and then the victory at Carteret County Speedway last Saturday night. Danny Bone now moving up to second in points, trying to put some heat on that kid Carson Lofton. Bone, a 2-time winner in tour-type modified competition here at Caraway Speedway. And by the way, Danny Bone, when he won at Carteret last Saturday night, the furthest back any winner has started this season with the Smart Modified Tour. Started in the 8th spot, played the pitch strategy to perfection, and held off hard-charging drivers to the completion of the Carteret Clash. Lofton, nobody has been more savvy than this driver here at Caraway Speedway in tour-type modified competition. He used to race that immaculate number 23 red machine that now his son drives. Now he's behind the wheel of this machine for Shady Grady Racing, and boy, have they had a difficult season. Engine problems a couple of times over. Bad luck, mechanical failure, you name it. He missed a race. Very unlike Brian Lofton, but now they're coming back. In fact, when we were here over the 4th of July weekend, that is when we saw this team start to change the tide. They were strong that day, ran up front. Did not have the finish they wanted, but are hoping to go back to victory lane here tonight with the Smart Modified Tour. He has 9 total Tour wins with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Everybody just riding at this juncture of the game. Going to go a little bit further back with our other camera, trying to pick up Burt Myers in the number 1. Myers right hanging on to the tail end of the top 10. Running in the 9th spot is the Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners Peanut Patch Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas number 1 for Burt Myers. Myers, the defending series champion, right behind the current point leader. Myers quickest in practice here today, but he had some driveline problems on that race car as well. They battled back in hurried fashion, got it ready for qualifying. He qualified 9th. That's where he runs right now. Behind him, by a couple of car lengths, the blue and white number 25 machine for Tommy Buzzy Jr. There he is coming into our shot right now on our Flow Racing broadcast. Buzzy, full season this year with this Mike Smith-owned machine. That's a Troyer Mountain. Tommy has been very consistent, but sometimes you want more than consistency. His son, very successful in quarter midget racing, has won a bunch of races already this year. Has run some Bandolero competition. It is a racing family for Tommy Buzzy, and he is hoping to score a. He has had success here at this racetrack. And think about it, his son Ben winning in quarter midgets. Dad wants to get back to victory lane as well. We go back up to the battle for second, starting to brew a little bit here. Brian Lofton about 2 car lengths ahead of the 79 of Anthony Bello. Bello, right on his back bumper is Danny Bone. Danny Bone, very strong in that number 24 car, as always at any racetrack that we go to. Fourth place is Brandon Ward. 5th place on the racetrack right now, Ryan Newman. Newman starting to get hounded by Luke Baldwin. Baldwin, just so much prowess behind the wheel in that 7 VA for Sadler Stanley Racing. And as we say that, 19 laps in, we do have a caution on the racetrack. We have an emergency in the grandstands in turn 1. So because of that, we are going to throw the caution flag 19 laps into this 99-lap race. It's Brian Lofton over Anthony Bello and Danny Bone. We're going to take a quick break on our Flow Racing broadcast and come back with more racing action from Caraway Speedway. Under caution here, we're going to go to the number 24 of Danny Bone on our Racing Electronics race communication here during the Robert Jeffries Memorial. Danny, looks good pretty early in this race. What are you thinking right now? How's that number 24?
We're pretty good, just saving some tires here. We're trying to pick up a couple stage points, but all in all, the car feels pretty good. It's a long race. Robert Jeffries was always one to come over to the track, come over to us in the pits and talk to us. They're great guys, so honored to be racing for him tonight. Hopefully we can park this Amerifast number 24 back in victory lane.
I want to know that big win at Carteret last Saturday night. How many nights did you sleep with that Banker's Life Smarty Trophy this week?
Just the one. I was a little worried about breaking it, but if I win tonight, I'll probably sleep with both of them tonight. And then my girlfriend might get mad at me if I keep winning these trophies and putting them in the bed. Cones out. Inside here.
Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
Danny Bone, third place right now on the racetrack. Thank you to Racing Electronics for all they do for our broadcast here on Flow Racing with the Smart Modified Tour. Able to talk to the drivers during the race, and you heard the CitraSafe Choose cone was out last time by. That means we're going racing this time by. Danny Bone on the inside of the second row, Brandon Ward on the outside of row number 2. That front row still occupied by the veteran Brian Lofton, the 15 and the 79, the recent high school graduate Anthony Bello. Coming back to the green flag, Lofton and Bello front row. Good start for the 15 of Brian Lofton. Bello trying to keep pace with him on the outside. He finally gets back on the inside. In third place is now Brandon Ward. Ward in that Kevin Powell machine. The 04 always runs good here at Caraway. Lots of experience. Battle for fourth right now. Here comes Luke Baldwin on the outside. He's gotten by Ryan Newman, now challenging the 24 of Danny Bone early in this race. Just 21 laps complete now here of 99. Ryan Newman trying to get back underneath the Pace-O-Matic number 7 VA. A big shout out to Hermie Sadler and Bill Stanley, car owners of the SNS Racing Machines. We got 2 of them in tonight's field. Luke Baldwin as well as Jonathan Cash. So Baldwin able to shut the door on Ryan Newman and maintain that spot. He's in the 5th spot, moving back to 6. Carson Lofton behind Newman. And then there's Joey Coulter in the Gray Ghost 02. Kind of calm right now, early in this one. That's not necessarily a bad thing at all. Click off some laps here. Remember, we're just a few laps shy of Bell Helmet's stage number 1's conclusion. At the end of 30 laps, a checkered flag will be thrown with the Bell logo on it. And the top 3 at the conclusion of Bell Helmet's stage number 1 will get a little extra cash, as well as some points to go towards the championship equation for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic in 2024. A little bit further back, just inside the top 10 right now, is this battle. The number 25 of Tommy Buzzy Jr. has made his way around the number 1 of Burt Myers. Myers, the entire racing family for the Myers bunch, they have certainly had their share of triumphs here at this racetrack. And right now, that's a little bit further back in the top 10. Tommy Buzzy Jr. in 9th, Burt Myers in 10th. Just ahead of them is that 02 machine of Joey Coulter. Next time by will be 1 lap to go until the conclusion of Bell Helmet's stage number 1. Jeff Bunton, our official flagman for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, has that Orange and white checkered flag, this time by, coming off of turn number 4. It will wave in the air. Brian Lofton, the official winner of Bell Helmet Stage number 1 during the Robert Jeffries Memorial at Caraway Speedway. Anthony Bello in second. Third place is Brandon Ward. That is the conclusion of Bell Helmets Stage number 1. So just as a reminder, these teams, they can come down pit road right now. They have one tire at their disposal for this entire 99-lap race, and they can choose to take that tire whenever they want. So we'll see if there are any takers at this stage of the game. I'm joined by Series Director Chris Williams up in the booth. Before we talk about Caraway here, I want to talk about what they said couldn't be done, that the Smart Modified Tour did last week. 2 races, 1 day on the coast of Carolina. That was an incredible feat, not just by these teams, but also the entire tour.
Oh, absolutely. You know, the weather kind of played havoc on us a little bit, but Anthony and those guys, Andy at New River, you know, looked at all options. We kind of scoured through the pits and stuff and kind of seen what everybody's option was. You know, the Carolina Crate has some issues with the night, you know, with Hickory and back to Carteret. And so we've kind of, you know, found out what everybody wanted to do, and the track really worked with us to give us an opportunity to run it Saturday morning. You know, we didn't really know we was making history. We was just trying to keep money down, costs down, you know, saving people's travel. And to be honest with you, it kind of went off without a hit. I mean, people don't know that, you know, we finished that race at 11:30, and at 12:50 we were parked at Carteret with everybody but Tutterow and Jimmy Wallace. They had a shifter go out. We had one of our officials, Rick, go back and fix it because that's what he does on his day job. But it was pretty strange, you know, and you could tell everybody was kind of wore out through the process. But we did it. It was fun. It kind of brought us back into old days, you know, up north where they would go to Oswego or go somewhere else. They were all talking about it. Then, you know, back in the day when Martinsville would run on Saturday, they go to Franklin County, Caraway, or Bowman Gray. So it was cool to kind of bring back a lot of those conversations and memories of things like that. It's happened, but a tour hadn't done it as a tour. So it was pretty cool to be a part of it.
So much attention, right? Smart Modified Tour and the good car counts and the great racing that we're seeing. Of course, no matter where you go, no matter what racing series, you're going to have people that, you know, naysayers that try to get you on social media. But at the same time, where do you see the growth of this series and where it's headed here in the future?
Oh, it's going extremely well. We have a lot of tracks that's reached out and wanted to add, and, you know, we're still just keeping around at 14 or 15 just because of Bowman Gray and what we've got going on. But, you know, the sky's the limit. You know, sponsors always help to create part of that, you know, not only with the purse, so the burden's not always on the track, but just keeping the cost down and the tire, you know, cost down. It's going extremely well, and, yeah, we hear it. I mean, my buddy Dale Earnhardt always once told me as long as they're making noise, that means they're paying attention. And we love, you know, that people have an opinion. We see it on Facebook. You know, people don't like something we did. You know, tough situation with Blake there last week, and I know everybody had an opinion about it. But, you know, Hoots made the call, and, you know, we stand by it. And I hate it for Blake. Great individuals, great drivers. You know, just in a wrong situation at the wrong time for him. You know, and then you kind of hear stuff along the way that, you know, our rules a little bit different. I mean, I hear that chatter about, you know, going a 2-lap penalty and an unapproved change. You know, that situation, I won't name names, but, you know, they were given the situation. They chose to do it. But at the end of the day, you know, it's an impound race, and, you know, we have to manage what that impound is. If you missed the setup and you want to make a change, you know, that's the advantage they're trying to get, but that's the reason the rules was in place that was voted on by the drivers themselves. So at the end of the day, we've got room for growth. We got room for improvement. Just like here tonight, we got Jimmy Brown and some of those guys that's come in. We're trying to pick the pace up on these cautions. We're looking at how we're going to do that going forward, and it's going extremely well. And we're improving. And the cool thing about it is the sport is growing, you know, and it's a testament to these teams that show up each and every week to put on the show. We got 20 people that can win in this series right now, and it's fun. I know we're getting ready to go back to green, so I'm going to hand it over to you here for just a second.
All right, Chris Williams. We want to get a word with him about Robert Jeffries and the entire Jeffries family at some point, too. Here we go. Coming back to the green, this time by still Brian Lofton in that red and white. Number 15 for Shady Grady Racing. He'll lead the field to the green flag. We'll go through the Pace-O-Matic restart zone right here off of turn number 4. Anthony Bello very anxious on the outside to hit that loud pedal. But it's Brian Lofton with another great restart. Brandon Ward very strong in that 0-4 machine. He's on the inside of Anthony Bello. Battle is for second right now. Brian Lofton still with that lead. Anthony Bello the tough way around Caraway Speedway on the outside. Brandon Ward going to be able to take over second. Bello back in third. It's still fourth. The number 24 for Danny Bone. In fifth place is that Pace-O-Matic 7VA for Luke Baldwin. A little bit further back, we have side-by-side racing. Carson Lofton had just gotten by Joey Coulter. Now it's the number 1 of Burt Myers and Joey Coulter side-by-side. They are racing inside the top 10 right now. Burt Myers trying to pick up a couple of spots. Can he do so? Coulter locked down that 8th spot. But Burt Myers very strong. Tommy Buzzy Jr. in the Mark III Financial, number 25 as well, picks up a spot. Michael Rich behind the 0-2 of Joey Coulter. Jimmy Blewett has started his march through the field, that number 99 machine right in that group of cars right there. And there's Jonathan Cash as well. Jonathan Cash, great second place effort for him last Saturday night at Carteret County Speedway. His best finish with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Jonathan Cash hoping to win one of these Bankers Life Smarty trophies before the end of the season. We go back up front. There's the battle for second. Still Brandon Ward about 4 car lengths behind Brian Lofton. Anthony Bello is there. Then about 3-4 car lengths behind Bello to 4th place running Danny Bone and then Luke Baldwin. Ryan Newman just outside the top 5 in the 6th spot right now. Baldwin starting to apply some pressure to Danny Bone. Baldwin, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner here at Caraway Speedway today. Still plenty of time left in this one. Just 2 laps shy right now of 40 complete here during the Robert Jeffries Memorial. Again, Lee Jeffries was with us here today. Unfortunately, Lee not in the race. Practiced really well, was 6th quick in practice, then had engine problems during qualifying. Unfortunately, he did not make the show. Right now, while it's a little bit calm here, the closest battle is for second. Brandon Ward and Anthony Bello there. But Chris, before we let you go back to the master control here with David Hoots, I want to talk about the Jeffries family, specifically Robert, and what type of guy he was and what he has done for all of modified racing in the South.
Oh, absolutely. You know, he's a mainstay in the South, and, you know, the Jeffries family, you know, with Lee carrying on that tradition that his daddy put out there, and, you know, a lot of people looked up to him. You know, he won one of our first races ever in the Smart Modified Tour, and, you know, we don't want to forget our history. You know, we lost Max Barrier last week, and Max, you know, was a mainstay back in the day with Clyde Barber and them. He ran up and down the north, you know, East Coast all the time. And we look up to them, and we just don't want to forget them because, you know, they paved the way for a lot of these teams and drivers and family to participate. And, you know, we just don't want to forget our history, and we love the Jeffries. You know, we love what they do. You know, we've got Grady and them here carrying on that tradition as well. And, you know, the one thing about the Jeffries, you know, they're very opinionated, and that's fine. But we know where they're coming from because they wear it on their sleeves, and that's what we need in modified racing. That's what we need as a competitor, and so the sport's grateful for them to be in the sport and the history they've supplied.
Well, thank you, Chris Williams, Series Director for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Closing in on the halfway point of this race. It's Brian Lofton over Brandon Ward, Anthony Bello, Danny Bone, and Luke Baldwin, your top 5. 6th place is that number 2 machine of Ryan Newman. There's Burt Myers, and 8th place running Carson Lofton. Carson Lofton, by the way, with a new crew chief here. Unfortunately, Justin Link not with us here today. Justin is spending some time with his family. So Jonathan Brown, actually, former modified hotshot himself, crew chiefing for that number 23 here today at Caraway Speedway. So Carson Lofton, the winner of the opening of 3 events for the Smart Modified Tour at Caraway this season back in March here in the Sophia, North Carolina racetrack. Danny Bone, Luke Baldwin, we keep our eyes peeled on them. This is for the 4th spot. Behind that, starting to get a little bit heated between Ryan Newman and Burt Myers. Ryan Newman, 2 wins already this season. He won last Saturday morning at New River All-American Speedway. Halfway through this race now with the Robert Jeffries Memorial at Caraway Speedway, and it's been all Brian Lofton so far. There is Ryan Newman having a great showing so far in that number 2 machine. Finished 2nd in the race earlier this year here at Caraway. Bobby Labonte won the last race we were here, 4th of July weekend at Caraway Speedway. By the way, you see Ryan Newman in that, carrying a new sponsor here, Finzer Roller. New sponsor. They had 60 employees here today at Caraway Speedway. So a big hospitality area, and Ryan was speaking to the folks from Finzer Rollers. Here comes Luke Baldwin, looking to the inside of Danny Bone. Took a peek there, but couldn't get the run up off the corner. You got to figure at this stage of the game, if we see another caution, everybody will be coming down pit road to take that tire. And here's the interesting thing. Let's go to the top 2 because it's starting to close in between 1st and 2nd. There is Brian Lofton, that red and white 15. Right behind him, Brandon Ward, and Brandon Ward has been closing in by just a little bit every single lap. Brandon Ward has raced here at Caraway so many times in all sorts of different machines. He's got one of them. He's probably one of the most experienced racers here at this track through the years. He's got a win in the Smart Modified Tour, 3 SMRS wins, 32 starts in all for the driver of the 04. And there is our Carolina Drilling CitraSafe Grill Cleaners drone coverage live on Flow Racing. Saw some good shots from that drone earlier today during the 9/11 remembrance that we had just prior to the start of this race. Pretty good crowd on hand. It's not been a hot day here at Caraway, kind of just nice temperatures throughout the day and into the evening. We go back from 3rd on back. Oh, just as we say that, look at Luke Baldwin to the inside. This is a battle for 4th. Luke Baldwin able to get that spot on Danny Bone in the 24. So Baldwin now up to 4th. Back to 5th goes Danny Bone. Still outside the top 5 is Ryan Newman. 5 of Tommy Buzzy. And look at that. How about that? What happened to Baldwin? As we were taking a look at our microphone for a possible issue, Baldwin lost several spots there. Newman went by. Burt Myers went by. Little wiggle right there. Some crazy situations going on for Luke Baldwin. Danny Bone is now back up to 4th. The old microphone switcheroo. Back to talking about this race. 62 laps complete. Strong run so far for Brian Lofton. We'll keep an eye on him as Brandon Ward is still in that second spot. We're going to go a little bit further back in the field, though, because there's so many good stories here and some competitors that don't normally run with us on a full-time basis. One of the drivers we want to talk about is, battle for the lead starting to brew. Here comes Brandon Ward to the inside of Brian Lofton. Oh, 3 wide battle for the lead, and it's Brandon Ward taking over the top spot from Brian Lofton. Some slower cars involved in that one. 3 wide, Brandon Ward put it, and now he's on top here during the Robert Jeffries Memorial. Daniel Yates, a 5th place run back in 2020 here at Caraway Speedway, his best. He gets a little love tap from Brandon Ward to say, Daniel Yates, come on, get out of the way, give me a groove here. Yates moves down to the bottom. Brandon Ward able to get by, so does Brian Lofton. Anthony Bello in 3rd with that brightly colored 79 machine. The Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners, Carolina Drilling drone coverage of the top 4 on the racetrack. Now we're going to go back. Josh Lauder in the number 63, and just behind that, John Holloman. How about John Holloman making his first start of the year? Only one other prior smart start for him back a few years ago. John Holloman, a couple of wins at Bowman Gray Stadium this year, 6 total in NASCAR modified competition here at this racetrack. And he runs the number 69 car in honor of Junior Miller, the king of Southern Modified Racing. He's won more races, Junior Miller, than anybody else on the Smart Tour. And John Holloman continues the tradition of Junior Miller by racing the number 69 that Junior adorned to the side of his car for so many years. Battle for second. Look at this one here. Anthony Bello applying some pressure to Brian Lofton. Pretty even in the top 3. Look at this. Frank Fleming had just gotten by John Holloman. Frank Fleming, you talk about just some of the best in Southern Modified Racing for so many years. This driver from Mount Airy, North Carolina, is right there at the top of the heap. 8 times a winner here in smart competition for the driver of the number 40. Only a second start of the season. Raced down at Florence Motor Speedway to open the season. Frank Fleming, the folks from PSR, putting some new clips on that car, front and rear, after that race at Florence. So Frank Fleming, more than 100 career starts here at this racetrack. He gets by Lauder. That's a spot on the racetrack. So Frank Fleming trying to move up through the field. Great to see Frank Fleming, his brother Chris here today. They are what Southern Modified Racing is all about. When I was a kid, Frank Fleming was my guy for Southern Modified Racing. Now Brian Lofton starting to close in on Brandon Ward. Lofton has had a very fast car, leading a bunch of laps in this race. We're closing in on 20 to go in the Robert Jeffries Memorial. Anthony Bello still riding in that 3rd spot in the number 79. 4th place, still Danny Bone, Burt Myers, no changes in the top 5. Luke Baldwin back to 6th. Ryan Newman in 7th. Scoring a little bit messed up on Race Monitor right now. And that's why we've dumped it. So we apologize for the fact that we don't have scoring on the ticker on the top of your screen, but scoring not reading right by Race Monitor right now. Here's a battle. Joey Coulter starting to lose some more ground. Jonathan Cash able to move by that. And now here comes the believe that's the 4 machine. Yes, the QRC HVAC and refrigeration machine for Jason Myers, 11th in points. So it's been a tough outing so far for Joey Coulter. Jonathan Cash up to 11th. Jason Myers in that 4 machine up to 12th, and Joey Coulter back to 13th. Joey Coulter, a former winner at this racetrack. Brandon Ward has been a part-time competitor with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic this year. So has Brian Lofton, only because that team had some engine difficulties during the season. Car on the move right now is the 99 of Jimmy Blewett. He is starting to cruise through the field. Jimmy Blewett started back in 20th, and right now he just went by Carson Lofton. Jimmy Blewett now up to 9th on the racetrack, so plus 11 in the advanced column for Jimmy Blewett in this one. And if we widen out a little bit, he's going to catch the 2 right in front of him. There is the units moving and storage machine, the 25 of Tommy Buzzy. And then in front of Tommy Buzzy is Ryan Newman. So we're keeping our eyes peeled on the lead. Trust me, they're not going anywhere. Still 1 and 2. Here's the 99 of Jimmy Blewett running for Jamie Tomeno. He moves by the 25. Blewett, man, he's on the move. These guys need a caution. We saw a late race caution at Carteret last Saturday, and everybody came down pit road, closing in on 10 laps to go in this one. Jimmy Blewett in the 8th spot. Ryan Newman in front of him in 7th. Back up top we go. John Holloman goes a lap down. So does Slate Myers. Haven't talked about him, the 4th generation racer, making his first career Smart Modified Tour start in that 6 machine. He goes a lap down, but a little bit of an advantage right now for Brandon Ward over Brian Lofton by about 5 or 6 car lengths. $10 laps to go in the Robert Jeffries Memorial. Will we see a caution? Everybody's got a tire at their disposal on pit road. By the way, if you're a fan of Josh Lauder, that 63 machine has just come to pit road. There is Danny Bone trying to hold off Burt Myers. This is a battle for 4th on the racetrack. Burt Myers 5th in points, Danny Bone 2nd in points. Burt Myers looks to have the faster car at this stage of the game, and here comes the Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners machine. Tried to stick his nose to the inside of Danny Bone, but Bone able to roll a little bit quicker going into the corner. 5 car lengths is the distance between 1st and 2nd. We keep our eyes there for you from our tower. But here comes Burt Myers to the inside of Danny Bone. Bone, a little contact with the 1 of Burt Myers in a battle for 4th. Bone trying to hold on. Was there contact with the left rear tire? That's the question right now for Danny Bone. But that car is wicked ill right now for Danny Bone, just trying to hold on to a spot in the top 5. Luke Baldwin closing in behind that, but they have a lap car, Daniel Yates, in between Danny Bone's 24 and the 7 VA of Luke Baldwin. 5 laps to go this time by for Brandon Ward. There he is. He just went underneath the stripe with 5 to go in the Robert Jeffries Memorial at Caraway Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Joey Coulter, the car right in front of Brandon Ward. Joey Coulter appears to be going a lap down here. He does with under 5 to go. He gives Brandon Ward the inside. And Ward still about 5, 6, now 7 car lengths ahead of Brian Lofton. And the top 2 separated by that gray car of Joey Coulter. Ryan Newman starting to slip back just a little bit. He got passed by a couple of cars, including the 25 of Tom Buzzy. 2 laps to go in this one. It's all Brandon Ward. Let's show this gap between 1st and 2nd. We widen out just a little bit to show you. Look at that gap right now. Brandon Ward has opened up on Brian Lofton. Anthony Bello still in third. Fourth place is Burt Myers. In fifth, Danny Bone. What a run for Brandon Ward. He scores his first of the year in the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic in the Robert Jeffries Memorial at Caraway Speedway. Second place, Brian Lofton. Great run for him. Anthony Bello, his best career Smart Modified Tour finish in the Hillbilly Racing Sundrop 79. Fourth is Burt Myers. Fifth, Danny Bone. Sixth, the 7VA Pace-O-Matic machine for Luke Baldwin. Behind that, it was Jimmy Blewett, who charged from 20th to move into the top 10. We'll go trackside and visit Brandon Ward in Pace-O-Matic Victory Lane.
Well, how about that, race fans? Again, Brandon Ward in Victory Lane, driving that number 04 machine. What a race for those that love that type of excitement. Not many caution flags. Actually, only one yellow flag at the end of the stage. These drivers battled it out. What a show they put on. And, of course, when it's all said and done, Brandon Ward puts that car number 04 in Victory Lane. He's going backwards down the racetrack, ladies and gentlemen. Celebrating from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, Brandon Ward, Brian Lofton. What a show they put on, first and second down to the end. And when it was all said and done, Anthony Bello will finish on the podium. Burt Myers, Danny Bone, all coming up for the top 5 post-race interviews here on Flow Racing. And now that 04. Race fans, make some noise as it comes down amongst this great congregation. Below the flag stand, Brandon Ward pulling into Victory Lane here for the Smart Modified Tour. His first touring win of the year, as Bob Dillner mentioned, of 2024. And now we get the thoughts of this amazing modified competitor in that 04 from Winston-Salem and the rest of the top 5 as we get ready for post-race interviews.
A lot of smiles down here in Victory Lane. This team, part-time competition this year with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, but they came back today with a vengeance. They've been trying to dial in this race car all year long, and they finally got it dialed into perfection here today at Caraway Speedway. Kevin Powell racing by New Day. A great day for the 04 machine and Brandon Ward. We will speak to Brandon Ward just momentarily. How about the run by Brian Lofton? Wanted the victory here today, but interesting scenario with some slower traffic gave Brandon Ward the opportunity to make it 3 wide and get the victory here today. Third place, great run by Anthony Bello, kid out of Connecticut, winds up third in the Hillbilly Racing number 79 machine. Burt Myers pretty strong in the CitraSafe Grill Cleaners, Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas. Peanut Patch number 1 in the top 5, as is Danny Bone in the AmeriFast Supply of North Carolina 24. That is your top 5. And you take a look at the check here. That famous number 75 car, the Jeffries machine adorned to the check. Robert Jeffries and now Lee Jeffries carries on that tradition here in Southern Modified Racing. It's been a roller coaster year, but this makes it all right for Brandon Ward and that team. The 04 back in Victory Lane with the Smart Modified Tour. Brandon Ward, I know you got to be smiling from ear to ear. This entire team super happy. How much of a relief is this after really just trying so hard all season long?
Well, I mean, it's a big relief. You know, we've had a great year with this race team. We had 5 wins at Bowman Gray and up second in the points. And we came here and tested, and everything went well. Will wanted to try some different things, and man, he does a great job with this race car, this entire team. Will and Trevor made some adjustments right before the race that, you know, really kind of calmed the thing down and made it good for the long run. So, you know, just can't thank them enough. Kevin Powell, Jeff Day, everybody with this race program that makes it so good. You know, we were able to get, you know, wins with Coulter Motorsports in the last couple of years, and now a win with this team here tonight for Kevin and Jeff. So, like I said, Will Spa, this entire group of guys, can't say enough about them. Everybody, KevinSaysYes.com, Foothill Ford, Kevin Powell Motorsports, Precision Built Spindle, Donna D. Stone, Tim White, Safe Day, Squeaky Clean Express, Molecule, Simpson, Stilo, RE, everybody that does so much for this program, Progressive Racing Engines. It's just a great deal to get a win on the Smart Tour this year. Thank you, buddy. Lofton was good in the beginning. I didn't know if we were going to be able to run with him. He was better than us in the beginning, and he can maintain too. You know, they had a good race car, and was able to use some lap traffic there. It was tough. We were catching a lot of lap cars all at the same time, and you know, I felt like Brian was as good as us. So we just had to work hard right there to try to get track position. I was shocked we didn't get another caution. It's the first time we hadn't run a 2-hour race here, I think, in a while. So, you know, just like I said, can't say enough about this entire group.
Real quick, I want to get back to that. I think it's Eminem that says you have one shot, one opportunity. And that seems to be what you had tonight to go after this lead and after this victory. Describe what happened up there, because you put it 3 wide.
Yeah, you know, you never know where everybody's going to go. And Brian washed up. We were able to get 3 wide. To be honest with you, I was getting ready to follow him because I felt like that was going to be the lane. But it just kind of worked out. I mean, sometimes that deal works and sometimes it doesn't. But, you know, this makes up a little bit for the one we were leading and run out, coming to the white flag, run out of fuel that night. So, anyway, just real proud of this organization for a great year. Like I said, we got 5 wins at the stadium, now a win on the Smart Tour. We're going to come back and run some more of these races this year, and just thanks to everybody with the whole program for what they do.
And how about this? Now 5 tour-type modified wins here at Caraway Speedway for Brandon Ward, the winner of the Robert Jeffries Memorial at Caraway Speedway. Lee, if you're still here, I know you were watching from the crowd here tonight from the grandstands. Thank you so much for continuing on that tradition that your father began years ago. There he is, looking for Brian Lofton. Brian, let's talk about the dominance here tonight for a good portion of this race. We'll face the crowd here, but I want to ask you what happened with that situation with the slower car that inevitably gave Brandon Ward the victory.
Yeah, they just don't give you a whole lot of respect. I mean, golly, we're racing for a win here, and everybody's sliding around, so even the fast cars can't get any grips. You're sliding around, you're trying to time them, and man, they get to racing back there, held us up, and I mean, it is what it is. It's racing. Congratulations to Brandon. They had a great car. Those guys did great. Really wanted this one, though. The Robert Jeffries Memorial would have meant a lot to this team, but the year we've had, this is a good building step, and hopefully we can keep getting better from here.
Your team, obviously, very familiar with the Jeffries family. You've been around the entire family for a long time. What does the Jeffries family mean to Southern Modified Racing?
Oh, they're iconic. You know, I mean, this is one of the lasting teams that's been here from the beginning. You have the Myers, the Jeffries, and that, you know, there's not many left that have been here the whole strand of this Southern Modified team.
I want to know, you sniffed that victory. Now does this team have the momentum ready to get back to victory lane?
Oh, yeah, I think that we've been having some bad luck. We've had better race cars than what we've showed. We had the engine troubles at the beginning of the year, and last week we had our flat right rear when we started the race. It was going down, and you know, if we can get the monkey off our back and keep with you know, luck on our side, I believe we can get victory lane here soon.
Brian Lofton, runner-up here tonight. And how about this kid? Graduated high school, the Hill family. You talk about the Jeffries, the Hills. They've meant so much to Southern Modified Racing. This kid now driving for the Hillbilly team. And you wind up 3rd here tonight. Looked like you had a good race car. Just take me through this race, because it looked like you might have had a shot. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we definitely had a winning race car. I just wanted to calm down and really save my stuff, and you know, just following the 15 really helped me save my stuff. And we were a little free at the end of the race, but you know, it's hard to run 99 laps on, you know, that one right rear. So, oh man, this year's just been, it's definitely been a humbling year. It's been, the Hills are just great people, and you know, it's been a little bit of a struggle, but you know, that's what this sport is. It's a lot more lows than highs, and you know, I'm just really excited to get on the podium for these guys. Really gotta thank David and Derek Hill, the whole Hillbilly team, and really gotta thank Justin Link for everything he does for us and gets us a little better every week. And it's just feels so good just to be standing here on the front stretch with guys that, you know, I've been watching race for years, and I'm only 18 years old, you know, so this is pretty good for us and really good for my career and the Hills career. And we're real excited for what's to come.
We still got plenty of racing to go with the Smart Modified Tour. How about this podium run here tonight for Anthony Bello? Burt Meyer is always a guy that likes to talk. And listen, well, no, believe it or not, the microphone's working. We're happy about that. But I don't want to talk about your run here tonight, okay, because you've finished in the top 5 many times at Caraway. I want to talk about Slate. He makes his first career Smart Modified start here tonight. I'm sure he's back there going, oh, I should have run better, right? But at the same time, as a dad, what do you think about your son here tonight?
I can tell you, they just let me know his right rear is completely flat. So he ran those last laps with a flat tire. You told me it was working, man. That's a lesson, though. That's the kind of stuff he needed, was to know what that feels like and to be able to handle it. He didn't spin the thing out, and he finished the rest of the race on a flat right rear. But they said before that he was right there in the mix between right there at Jimmy Blewett and a couple of guys that veterans of the sport. So I'm tickled for him, man. I know he's probably disappointed with his performance, but it's fun, man. It's fun watching him and seeing him learn and watching him adapt. And this is the best of the best in the Southern Modifieds, man. And he qualified 14th and hung in there till he had a problem. So it's fun, man.
Was it emotional today for you a little bit?
Not yet. Not yet. You have to ask his mom up here on the hill. But, no, it hasn't hit me yet. I'm sure it will. But I haven't been emotional. I haven't been worried or scared or anything like that for him. He's a big boy, and he's taking his lumps and bumps, and he's adapting to it and doing a really good job with it. But there'll be a day, I'm sure, when he's battling for the lead. And I told him, I said, wherever you're at, whatever car you're in, when you're getting ready to win your first race, when you take that checker flag, you come up the backstretch, you're going to get choked up. No, I won't, Dad. I said, yeah, you will, and I will be too, but that's okay. But, yeah, I don't know how many more he'll do this year, but we wanted to get this one in the books. He had some laps here, so, yeah, we're happy with it.
And Burt Myers, 4th himself here tonight in the Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners #1. 5th place, because we still have time. Where's Danny? All right, Danny, it looked like at the end of this one you had a handful inside the cockpit of that 24.
Yeah, we got a little free there. It was kind of surprised, though. Like, this year we ran the longest race in history at Caraway, and then we ran the shortest race in history. And I think it's probably before midnight, too. So hats off to the Smart Tour. And, you know, Brandon Ward had a good car. We just didn't have it in the long run speed, which we typically do. So made one change today, and I think that's why we're not in the top 3. But, you know, thankful for the Amerifest Supply team for the opportunity, my dad, my crew, and you know, we're top 5. We're the only top 3 in the points in the top 5 today here. So good day for us, and we'll chalk it up and go to Dominion. I like Dominion. It's a good track for me next week. So I still need another Smarty. I'm getting a little spoiled now.
Yeah, slept with it this week. We talked to you about that during the race. But so you are keeping an eye on this points thing right now. I kind of heard you talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we're P2 right now, and there's only 4 races left. So you got to start looking at the big picture. Try to be in the top 3 at the end there going into Wilkesboro. But we started off rough, but this is 5 top 5s in a row. So, and I think between Bowman Gray and this car, it's 11 top 5s in a row for us. So a lot of momentum going, and got the Smarty at the house, and I need one more to go with it.
Look at Danny Bone with the nuggets of information here tonight. That is your top 5. We're going to clear the front stretch. We still got more racing to go here at Caraway Speedway. We thank you On behalf of everybody, Chris Williams and his entire staff from the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic, and thank you to the Hacketts and everyone here at this racetrack for really the home of Southern Modified Racing for such a long time. Thank you so much. We're going to wrap things up here, and you got more racing to watch here tonight at Caraway Speedway.
Thank you, Bob. Well, again, boy, crazy Kevin Powell's got to be excited and happy for that team from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Brandon Ward picking up the Robert Jeffries Memorial here tonight at the Caraway Speedway. Quick break. When we come back, we've got more racing action for you. U-Cars, bootleggers, all part of our continued coverage of Flow Racing, CarawaySpeedway.tv, and the Robert Jeffries Memorial. Getting ready for the U-Cars. Alan, your final take of this this race, man.
Well, my opinion of it is a great race because not many cautions.
One
flags.
caution
Everybody,
at the end of the stage. That was it.
Everybody pretty well behaved themselves tonight. No real pushing or shoving around. Just good, solid, modified racing. And congratulations going out to that 04 team. I mean, you know, I don't know how you could have got any better than that. So it was just a good night for the modifieds here at Caraway. Of course, it's always exciting to see the people come out for this event, each and every modified tour race that we have here. So we're looking forward to them coming back once again. And Wesley Allen